Greenshields from the Resilient Leaders Foundation. Thanks for all the feedback about the last video I did on the 3 essentials of life. We control 3 things: our thoughts, our words, our deeds, respect, and also alignment. These are really 3 key things. Yes, Dave, I'll speak to you in a moment. Hi, how are you? But I just want to go back to the 3 steps of what you control: your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. Because some people come back to me and go, James, it's all well and good for you to say that I control my thoughts, my words, my deeds. But what happens when out of the 60 to 80,000 thoughts we have in any given day, all of a sudden, most of them are going in the direction I don't want to go, as opposed to the direction I do want to go? Well, it's just like the first time you got in a car. Did you have any bloody clue what to do? And did you have any clue about, did you ever turn the key the wrong way? Did you ever stuff up the clutch? Did you ever do an accidental burnout and then stall the car because you just didn't get the clutch right? The way you've learnt to drive is by practice. It's exactly the same thing. When you're picking up your sword in life, your personal power in life, it takes training. That's why Neo went into the training program in the Matrix, to learn his skills to actually go out there and live what he needed to do. It's exactly the same analogy for life. We've got to be able to realize that when we all of a sudden start controlling our thoughts and words and deeds, we're going to realize, oh my goodness gracious me, I'm not actually thinking too supportively of myself. When we increase our self-awareness, often we beat the crap out of ourselves more. It's called self-flagellation. We beat ourselves up more. Now, some of you, I'm here to suggest, are probably, you have doctorates, PhDs in beating the crap out of yourself. Well, that's not the best qualification to have. We can let that one go. How do we let it go? It starts one thought at a time. Okay, I acknowledge you and I let you go. Okay, I acknowledge you and I'll let you go. So when our self-awareness increases, we then quite often will self-judge. Now, self-judgment is about forgiveness. It's calling us to action to, 1, forgive ourselves and clean up the collateral damage that we may or may not have done. So that's going to be your journey. And at times it's like, right, gee whiz, I really have been harsh on my wife. So therefore, what do I need to do to heal that wound in here and, if I can, heal the relationship I have? It's important, but the thing is, you've learned how to drive a car because you got in the bloody car in the first place. We learn how to control our thoughts, our words, our deeds because we start allowing ourselves to control our thoughts and words, our deeds. So it brings us on to a next conversation, which is about conscious leadership. So if you're a business owner and all of a sudden you realize as a leader that you don't control anyone else's thoughts, words and deeds, sometimes as a leader that can be a bit unsettling. Well, they don't actually have to do what I say, or you turn around and say, well, legislation says, or they don't have a job if they do. Well, if they don't, I should say, cool, that's one way of leading. And it's an authoritative way of leading. And possibly your organisation may be suited to that, it may not. I'm here to suggest leadership's it's a humanistic condition. It's not management. Management is the procedures, it's the systems, it's looking after and shuffling paperwork. That type of stuff's management. Leadership is all about the human dynamic. Therefore, when we understand that we control 3 things: our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, and by being impeccable, as Don Miguel Ruiz, if you haven't read 4 Agreements, recommend that book by Don Miguel Ruiz, says be impeccable to your word. So it's about then going, right, if I'm impeccable as much as I can and I train myself to look after my thoughts, my words, my deeds, and I act in a way and I set a standard which is great for this organisation for whatever, then we can move forward. It doesn't have to be an organisation. It can be a family. How many times, I ask kids this all the time in schools, how many times have you seen one of your parents say something and then do the complete opposite? And you guessed it, how many hands shoot up? Just about every single one. And then I have a bit of a game with the kids because I ask them the same questions about teachers who I know are standing there in the auditorium and listening in intently. And that's a shot over the bow to teachers as well. Because teachers are in leadership positions. Us as parents are in leadership positions. Everyone's in a leadership position in some way, shape or form. But let's come back to organisations. How can we utilise this? Well, when we help our people understand they control their thoughts, their words, their deeds, all of a sudden workplace disputes take on a very, very different meaning. I don't get into conflict resolution. Why? Most of it's a crock. Most of it tries to deal in symptoms and shuffles a few things around, including possible people and egos, and then nothing's actually solved. Causal issue resolution takes a person into understanding what's the subconscious program within them which has actually caused the whole thing to happen. Bring that back to thoughts, words and deeds. It means that when I understand that subconscious program and I actually tweak it or heal it so that I don't act in that way anymore, I don't think in that way, and therefore I don't speak in that way, then all of a sudden my workplace arrangements are more harmonious. Things start happening. My business starts going to the next level. Why? Because trust starts going up. As soon as people realize they control their thoughts, their words, their deeds, all of a sudden, well, self-trust gets a big wake-up call, because do I actually trust myself? And a lot of people will say no, but you can build that. It's about building yourself to be the best version of you possibly can be. As a parent, as a business owner, as a leader in any way, shape or form. That's conscious leadership. Conscious leadership is working towards a more harmonious relationship. I use the term harmonious or harmonic over sustainment. Sustainment is all in a scarcity mentality. It's all about survival. It's not about thriving. If you want to be in a thriving relationship, if you want to be in a thriving business, if you want to be in a thriving life, go to harmonious. It takes you to the next level. Okay, and it's a massive big step within your consciousness and paradigm to actually realize. But when you do, and when you nail it through controlling your thoughts, your words, your deeds in a respectful way and doing it in alignment with your true self and everyone else around you, then you will see life take a dramatically different step. So bring it back to basics. When I am in any situation, I control my thoughts, my words, my deeds. How do I want to engage this situation instead of reacting to the situation? If you react to a situational person, you give your power to that situational person. When we engage a situation on our terms by thoughts, words and deeds in a respectful way, in complete alignment to myself, then I hold my own power and I can actually determine and set my course to get what I want. Trust that's been a benefit. And remember, please, if you've got questions, fire them at me. And also, if you're interested in taking yourself in a harmonic way to a new leadership level, a new online course is coming out by RLF and myself. So you might want to get in touch with me about that. Much love to all. Cheers.